his perspective, what else?
And then we can go.
Let's go. Is he,
Okay, guys, we're gonna see
Tennis courts, I mean,
what the over-under is. Okay, ready? All right, here we go. We're gonna call the meeting to order, and let's start with the Pledge of Allegiance. Okay, we'll see how fast we do this one. Ready? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. This is a public meeting of the Hillsdale Borough Council on the 16th day of September, 2025. Notice of the time and place of this meeting has been provided in the Ridgewood News and the Bergen Record. A copy was posted on the bulletin board outside of this meeting room and provided to any interested parties. Please silence all of your cell phones. You'll be recognized during the public portion of the meeting. Will the clerk please read the roll?
Mayor Scheinfeld.
Here.
Council President Oso.
Here.
Councilmember Coletti.
Here.
Councilmember Fox.
Here.
Councilmember Mazachon. Here. Councilmember Rucco.
Here.
Councilmember Trokimu.
here,
Great. Okay, we're going to move the approval of the minutes, the closed session minutes from September 9th. Councilman Fox absent. Can I get a motion?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? No. It passes. Initial public comment period, 3 minutes. I don't see anybody here. Let's move on to discussion. Correspondence. We're going to, will the clerk please file a motion to approve the receipt and file of a letter from Sapienza Gardens dated 9/10/25 requesting to hold an event on 10/19 in Sapienza Gardens. Can motion?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. We'll go to committee reports. Right down the line, Council President Oso.
Yeah, I just want to say that I had an opportunity to attend the Fall Festival. It was a great time for all. Upwards of 1,000 people had passed through Beechwood Park on that day. I think it was a lot of fun. I think Dan Conti did a great job putting the vendors together and had a great run of show. I mean, I think it was very well organized, and I think the community had a great time.
Great.
Also on the agenda, October 3rd, there's Oktoberfest at Beechwood Park, Friday night. It's going to have a beer garden and live music. So please go ahead and attend that if you're available.
Okay, Councilman Fox?
Stony Brook Pool, right now there's $1,072,000 in revenue. There's another 17,000 plus coming in for the year. Right now it's open this week for senior citizens. This Saturday's the drool in the pool for dogs from 1 to 3 p.m. And October 4th is the car show from 10 to 3. That's it.
Okay, Councilman Coletti?
Thank you, Mayor. Environmental Commission, they participated in the Fall Town Day. They had a booth in which they had a wheel of questions to engage for everyone there, but especially the kids, in which they gave out prizes. They did a really good job. And the Environmental Commission would also like to thank the DPW because they provide them with support every year at that festival. So they thank them for that. Also, they continue to work with our BA, as well as with the vice chair of the commission, Scott Raymond, and member Tracy Hansen on the borough landscaping, which is a project that continues. In terms of the fire department, they were informed by the salesperson from Absolute Fire Protection at the Fireman Expo last week that the ladder truck may be delayed to June 2026 instead of March. So they're confirming with the salesperson. I spoke to Will Farrell, and he's going to confirm that, but that's what they were told at the meeting. One issue, which we believe has been resolved with the fire department, is that on numerous occasions, approximately 6 times last year and 3 times earlier this year, they were engaged via the county dispatch system for calls for other towns by mistake and error, in which the fire department would arrive to the firehouse and at that point learn that it was not for Hillsdale, and they could return them back to their personal lives. They've been going back and forth with the county, but it's been 5 weeks since the last occurrence, so they believe that it has been resolved. But Chief Farrell wanted me to just inform the council that if it does happen again, he will probably be engaging us to help the fire department out.
Okay.
That is it.
Councilman Rucco?
Thank you, Mayor. With respect to seniors, the 50 Plus Club met on September 10th. They elected a new president, Judy Atchison. She'll be seeking to reconstitute the board since there's been a couple of resignations and deaths. They're looking for a new meeting venue because they can no longer meet in the Methodist Church because the schools are using that. They're looking at the library, Trinity Church, and possibly the American Legion Cornerstone. And ultimately, I informed them about the possibilities for the new community center. So they're excited about that. So we will see how that develops. The Finance Committee met on September 12th. The committee reviewed appropriations and revenues as of the August 31st date. Most accounts are where they should be given the time of year, and that those that weren't were due to timing issues. Looking at the pool utility financial situation, it was agreed that while operating revenues were covering operating expenses, continued vigilance on the part of the borough and the pool commission needs to be exhibited given the operating results thus far. We discussed in general terms whether the borough might benefit from sale of cell tower leases. We decided unanimously that the long-term economics of that were not favorable for the town, but that is worth revisiting in the future if liquidity is needed. We discussed and agreed to a slight reduction in CFO hours, given somewhat diminished workflow demands and progress being made in rationalizing policies and procedures. We discussed in general terms why the 2026 municipal budget, and I say that excluding the school issue budget, will be challenging, as was the 2025 budget in terms of keeping a reasonable ceiling on the size of property tax increases while still maintaining town services and funding town capital improvements. We expect that 2027 will be less challenging given expected increases in property tax revenue that will occur because of the Patterson Street development. We discussed the 2024 audit results and the proposed response to the auditor that he drafted, that the CFO drafted, which I will read in a bit. My own view is that there were 10 recommendations, including some holdovers from 2023 that were made by our auditors, none of which were viewed by the committee or the auditor as critical or material. 5 have already been addressed, and the rest will be addressed with the CFO's corrective action plan. He reviewed his action plan with the committee, and we all concurred with it. And I think it's up for a vote tonight as a resolution.
Yep.
The exceptions that were mentioned in the audit, which is publicly available on our website, did not involve any significant dollar amounts. It did involve some minor deficiencies in the reconciliation processes, better tracking of unused grant allocations, closer adherence to regulations pertaining to administrative fees, more complete maintenance of documentation, and tighter compliance by the department heads of already existing purchase orders, policy, and procedures. The CFO asked me to read his comment tonight, which he said, "I'm pleased to report the results of our most recent independent financial audit, which found no material weaknesses in the borough's financial reporting or internal controls. This outcome reflects our continued commitment to transparency, accountability, and responsible stewardship of public funds. While the audit did include a few recommendations for improvement, these were non-critical in nature and have already been addressed through a corrective action plan, which is included with the meeting agenda, that corrective action plan will be posted on the borough's website. We are taking each recommendation seriously and are implementing the necessary steps to strengthen our processes even further." And lastly, Access for All, they met yesterday. They're awaiting a response from the mayor and council, and this goes back several months, as to their request to appoint a liaison from the police department. They are aware that Dan Conti, our rec director, is exploring a ROID, R-O-I-D, grant opportunity. That stands for Recreation Opportunities for Individuals with Disabilities. The deadline for that is March 2026. They have a remaining budget of $1,500. I had to look that up while the meeting was going on. They are planning several seasonal events. There's a fall craft, Saturday, November 8th from 11 to 2. Holiday cards and pictures with Santa. Former Councilman Zoltan Horvath has volunteered his services in this area. And then there's going to be a spring art show with a date undetermined yet. They reached out to the ambulance corps, and they are working on an educational session for our ambulance employees and volunteers on disability awareness and communication systems for nonverbal or non-responsive individuals. And I personally wanted to thank the ambulance corps for recognizing this and for working with the Access for All folks. Their next meeting is October 27th at the library at 7 p.m. That's all.
Councilwoman Trujillo.
The library committee met yesterday, and I think the only really important update is I think people will notice that there's construction going on at the library. They, I believe, started today. And it should take 6 to 8 days, and they're replacing the roof, which was in dire
Bad
need
shape.
of repair. Other than that, that's all I have to report.
Okay,
Thank you.
Councilwoman Mazzuchelli.
Okay, so the ambulance meeting is tonight, so I'll have an update for next council. Board of Ed, I gave a pretty thorough update last week, but I have a couple of things from last night's meeting. The last time I gave enrollment updates for July. So the current student enrollment are as follows. Smith School has about 382 students, Meadowbrook 357, and George White 353. The bids for George White are expected next week, so hopefully I'll have some updates next month. And the Board of Ed continues to work in collaboration with the borough regarding use of the school properties for sports activities, and they've expressed their gratitude for the ongoing partnership and support. That's all I got.
Okay, great.
Melissa, last night at the Board of Ed meeting, there was a group that,
Want to sleep.
Yeah.
that had.
Comments.
There were residents that came, a group of residents that came expressing interest in another SLEO.
Right, we've got two.
We have two right now. We have the one that's George White full-time, and we have a SLEO that's being
Shared.
with the two elementary schools every other day. So the group that came in was really advocating for a third SLEO full-time, so the elementary schools don't have to share.
And what's their reason for not wanting a third?
$80,000.
There's a cost.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but it would seem like we've said things, they've said things, that safety is the top priority. So how do you?
They've asked us to pay for it because they don't have it in their budget. We obviously know what's going to happen to our budget next year. It doesn't matter because it goes back to the taxpayer
Either
anyway.
way, you're right.
And so it's just not, from our perspective, something we're going to invest in this year. Maybe we can look at it in a couple of years.
Right, I mean, ultimately, it's the taxpayer that
It's a
pays
taxpayer
it.
either way,
Absolutely.
right?
But as following normal administrative processes, that's their expense.
Yes,
And they have committed over the years to say how valuable it is.
but they've asked us to do it. Valuable, but they want us to pay for it.
They want us to pay.
Yes. It's just, not passing judgment, that's just where it is.
Hey, could there be an appetite for some sort of shared? I mean, they have to get through their renovation
Right.
over the next 2 years
For
to
the
get
next
them.
2 years.
Ultimately, no matter who eats it, it's going to end up on the taxpayer.
Right, but the school also has a cap that they have to manage, to that 2%
2%
cap.
cap, so.
Right.
2% cap, right? So they don't have a lot of flexibility in being able to raise,
Yep.
even if they wanted to indiscriminately,
For
right?
at least a couple years.
Yeah.
Well, I would suggest that perhaps if they cut some other expenses, they
They
can
could do
afford
that.
it.
Which they
They
just
certainly
did.
could do that.
Well, maybe they could cut for another 80. Yeah.
Mhm.
If safety is their top priority, then why shouldn't they be thinking about it?
Yeah, and the one concern I think that was brought up was the 2.5 mile travel that person would need to take just to get to the other school in the event that there was an emergency.
I mean, if I'm a parent and have a child in Meadowbrook and that's not the day that the SLEO is there, how do you think I feel?
Right, right. Okay.
Up for discussion.
Okay. Normally, we would go to our BA, who is not here. He is out of town on work. So here in spirit. Let's move on to the resolutions. We have the consent agenda 25-238 through 25-243. Does anyone have anything they want to put on, pull to non-consent? You do.
25-240, which is the hiring of the extra DPW
Okay,
worker.
so with the exception of 25-240, let's do 25-238 through 25-243. Can I get a motion?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
All those, will clerk read the roll for consent?
Councilmember Mazzuchelli?
Yes.
Council President Osso?
Yes.
Councilmember Rucco?
Yes.
Councilmember Chodemus?
Yes.
Councilmember Coletti?
Yes.
Councilmember Fox?
Yes.
Okay, the consent resolution passes. The 25-240, motion to consider.
Motion.
Motion.
Okay.
Motion.
Second,
Discussion.
second.
Second.
No, I just wanted to get clarification. Is this an additional hire or is
I
this
think
a
it's a
replacement for someone who has left?
Yeah. That's my understanding.
Yeah, I mean, normally the BA would be able to answer that, or maybe the DPW chair.
No, it's my understanding that it's a replacement.
It's a replacement.
I
right?
can.
Replace.
There was
I thought,
a,
it was a replacement.
a promotion, so this takes part of that.
Right.
Take
It's,
over.
it's the fill-in for the promotion, right, okay. That's the foreman,
Correct.
right.
A promotion, but this doesn't add to the
It's
overall
not
numbers.
a head count.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. So we've had the motion second. All those in favor, just
Aye.
Aye.
anyone opposed? Okay, 25-240 passes, nothing off consent. Public comment, there isn't anybody here. Council commentaries, I will lead off. I've got 3 items to discuss quickly. I've set up a mayor's committee for the design and layout of the community center. And I've asked Councilwoman Mazachong and Councilman Oso to sit on it from the committee standpoint, from the council standpoint. Sarah Anderson from the rec committee. Armstrong, sorry.
It's okay.
Armstrong, I don't know where my head is here. Armstrong from the rec committee. Patty Hughes from the pool, because she does the seniors. Dan Conti from his Parks and Rec job, and then we've got Jerry Beatty representing the residents. There is some budget that they're going to have, and they've got their work cut out for them, but they're going to work in conjunction and set up meetings. And I think the first meeting is scheduled for Monday. So we're on our way with that.
And there's a grant available for that, right?
We're able to reallocate some. We had a $75,000 grant. 2,000 was spent on something else, so we can reallocate. We've already spoken with the DCA, I believe, and we've got a $73,000 budget that's got to be at least the materials have to be
Allocated by the end of
ordered
the year, right?
by December 31st. They have to be ordered.
Is this for furnishings?
Furnishings
Tables,
and
Anything
chairs?
that is needed for a community center.
yeah,
Mhm.
they'll provide the basics, paints and the flooring, and then we have to fill in the
And what
rest.
about the kitchen?
The
They're
developers
providing
are providing us.
They're
the kitchen.
putting whatever.
It's like a kitchenette. It's not it doesn't have a.
Well,
whole-
it's not a chef's
A
kitchen.
warming.
Yeah, right,
Yeah.
exactly.
Right,
Right.
okay.
Okay. I just got news today from the DEP. October 20th is the target date for the cleanup of Alexander's now. They've already done the soil samples, so they're coming to pull out the bad and put in the good. That is supposed to take place that week of October
That's good.
20th. Now, these dates have slipped in the past, but we'll see what happens. I also wanted to update everybody really quickly on the meeting I had last night. I went to the deer management meeting in Old Tapan. I was there with fellow mayors, Mike Casali from Montvale and Ray Arroyo from Westwood. And we had a long discussion. We were given a presentation by New Jersey Wildlife of all the options about what could and couldn't happen with respect to the deer population. I was surprised to learn that the deer population grows 30% a year. Yeah, it's an absolutely crazy amount. In a cold winter, it will come down 40%, but we haven't had a cold winter lately. So it's growing at a very fast rate. A deer will only travel in a one-tenth of a mile. So in its entire life, in diameter, that's it. It lives in the same place it's going to be. The borough is going to spend $1,000 sometime in the fall to do a head count on our deer, as accurate as you can. I mean, sight lines being what they are, you won't know for certain, but to get a relative idea of what we're up against. They were talking about how we manage the deer. The only predator for the deer right now has 4 wheels and an engine. That is the only predator that is left.
No coyotes aren't?
No, it's not it. So there were some questions about whether they would castrate the males or perform, removing ovaries and became cost prohibitive for these things. $5,000-$6,000 per deer to do that, and then it ended up really focusing on a hunt. And whether or not anyone had an appetite to do that, whether it would be bow and whether it would be gun. And there's a lot of interest in this. It's a lot of issues for a lot of people. It was a very heated debate, as you can imagine. The room was full. It was not meant as you were coming to any sort of decision. And Tom Gallagher, the mayor of Old Tapan, stated they were using this to just gather information and to take feedback from the crowd, and the crowd was very engaged in it. So I don't know what impact that has as far as we're concerned. And as I've told people, I mean, the debate is, well, what are we going to do? And the ultimate answer is, is there going to be a hunt? And nobody wants to say, yeah, I'm the one to raise my hand and say, let's go kill Bambi. So that's just not really out there. Let's go back. So that's the end of my, you look surprised.
Can I
So what are
ask
the
a
options?
question?
There are no options?
What are the issues or the problems per se, of having the deer? Like, I would think that the problem would be that they're a hazard to the drivers.
They are.
That you can, you're afraid you're gonna hit one at
That's
any
certainly-
given time.
It's
But
certainly
is
an
there any
issue.
other, is that,
Well, they eat a lot of the vegetation.
yes, that's
The
true.
people who have farms were there
Okay,
saying that they're losing incredible amount of money,
okay.
product and assets in that. And right, and there's also the
The
ticks,
disease.
the
Okay,
disease that
yeah.
they carry. So, I don't think we'd be having this discussion the way we would if it were an overabundance of raccoons, but it's deer.
And the sad part of it is when their population reaches a certain point, because I guess I've had something similar in the league. Winter takes its effect and they starve to death.
Well,
So
and then they eat stuff that they wouldn't normally eat,
They try, right.
and it becomes it's a horrible situation.
But inevitably
And
you
then
get,
it's a confrontation situation where, it's a Hunger game, literally.
yeah, you're going to see them in February, thin,
Right.
wandering the streets looking for food.
Yeah.
Um,
And the problem is that you see them during the day.
Oh,
It
they
used to
walk
be-
up to you.
Yeah,
It used to be at night only, but now they're prevalent all afternoon.
and they are more intelligent. I actually believe that they have learned
To cross
how
the
to
street.
cross the streets.
Definitely.
They're young are
Big
still
crosswalks.
learning because I've got a family there and there are three of them and they quite haven't figured out like they can't run in front of the cars, right? I mean, but the adults just look
For
at you.
sure.
Yeah, they-
So
100%.
So that's just the update.
amazing.
Let's go in reverse from before. Councilwoman Mazzachan,
I have no closing remarks.
Councilwoman Trujillo,
Me either. Thank you.
Councilman Rucca,
9.
Councilman Coletti,
No comments, thank you.
Councilman Fox.
No comment.
And
No
Council
comment.
President. Well, that was pretty quick. Can I get a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
See everybody October 7th,
Yep.
7 PM, and I lost by 3 minutes. 3 minutes. You kept talking. That was my fault.
Wow.
Oh, there was a bet?